Doug, our mentor, Arnold Palmer, taught us some great lessons. And one of the stories that kind of relates to our conversation here is when he was telling us about he and Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player were at a golf course and about ready to tee off. And back in the 60s, it's not like it is today where you had all these reps coming out with all of their goods. They brought out one golf club. So the Slazenger rep was there. And then he takes the driver and he gives it to Gary Player. And Gary Player goes, "Oh, that looks nice." He gives it a hit. He says, "You try it, Arnold." And Arnold grabs it and gives it a whack. And he gives it to Nicklaus. And Jack gets behind the ball. And he starts going through his whole visualization practice, just like he would if he was on the golf course hitting the most important shot of his life. He's behind it, he's seeing it, he's feeling it. He walks in, sets up, and Arnold grabs the shaft. He's about ready to hit it, and he goes, "Can't you just hit the ball?" And Nicklaus looks at him and goes, "I am."
That's a wonderful story, Brad. It reminds me of Mr. Jim Flick telling me a story, who was Jack's coach from the 1980s on, and he said, you know, one of the reasons that Nicklaus and Tiger, he believes, have excelled so much in the professional level is that when they're making some changes in their golf game to become better, that they'll focus so intently on the change that they're trying to make that they totally do not worry about the result of the golf shot.
So they're being a conscious competent.
They are conscious competent, realizing that if they put their energy into that one thing, that all of the things that they're hoping and desiring for are going to come to fruition, and they're going to get into that unconscious competent.
So even if they top the ball, they're staying right on that.
Right on. And that's what he said. He was amazed by that because, you know, our students and ourselves will be so into that result and worried about what that happened that we lose the focus on what we're trying to change. So it's a very, very important fact that you need to stay on task. Do that one or two things that you're working on over and over again.
So, and that's a great point that Doug brings out. Often we get so caught up emotionally in what happens to the ball flight. That's why I love to get you to feel things away from the ball. And a rehearsal is a rehearsal. Your mind doesn't know the difference between. So as you're focusing on different feels away from the ball, those become conditioned habits, positive conditioned habits. Whereas if the ball's there and you emotionally get attached to it and you top it, then it's a struggle.
So you're saying it might even be better sometimes when you learn something, when you work with your pro, to go home at night, do that in your easy chair, or do it before you lay in bed in your mind and anchor it that way as opposed to hitting balls.
Absolutely. In fact, Bob talked about the importance of visualizing what you want in your mind. You know, I've got a great story that I learned from Arnold Palmer. He said that in Latrobe in the spring of the year, you know, it's icy, it's cold, it's kind of nasty out there. And how did he prepare to get ready for Augusta that was coming up in the spring? Well, one of the things he used to do is he'd sit in his chair and he would visualize every single shot in his mind. He'd see himself playing Thursday round, Friday round, Saturday round, Sunday round. He knew where the pin placements were. He knew where he wanted to put the ball in the fairway. He knew where he wanted to put it on the green. He saw himself playing every shot in his mind perfectly. And as he rehearsed that in his mind, it just got his confidence greater and greater and got him prepared to be the winner of 4 Masters championships.
That's exciting. You know, our students can do that before their local 4-ball or something. Get ready and get that anxiety out and be focused and ready to do their best when they go out.
Absolutely. Thoughts become things. And you start practicing this in your mind and rehearsing it that way. And it's amazing. You start to focus on what it is you want instead of the old of what you don't want.
That's right. And you know what, Brad? It's the most exciting thing is we're seeing these results. Since Bob has introduced us to this wonderful secret of how to use your mind, I know that the people that I'm teaching and the people that you're teaching, the results are going through the roof, and it's going to be able to happen for these people watching this video.
Doug, you're absolutely right. I'm having more fun doing what I'm doing now than I've ever had in my life. And I can thank Bob and all that we're learning about the pro secrets. And they're going to help you as well.